Hello everyone, this is Erica. Today we are going to talk about how to create an app in Jodoo. At the beginning stage, it is normal to have questions about the app you are building. You might wonder what is an app in Jodoo and how to create an app. In this guide, we will go through these two common questions so that you are equipped with the needed concepts and skills to create an app in Jodoo. Our first question is, what is an app in Jodoo? Now we are at your homepage, which we call Workspace in Jodoo. In Jodoo, one gets to drag and drop to create one's own solution and make working efficient. The flexible solutions are operational systems in the form of apps. Apps in Jodoo contain all the information you need for a particular project or collection, similar to a folder that contains individual files. Each of the square icons on your homepage is a different app. It's kind of like a workbook in a traditional spreadsheet and can contain multiple tables of content. For example, an app for customer resource management could have separate forms for sales leads, companies, and deal opportunities, whereas an app for tracking a task could have separate forms for the task and employee registry items. So that is an app in Jodoo. Then our second question, how to create an app in Jodoo? Let's say we need to create a single place to hold all the details associated with the human resource management. In order to track and organize all the updates, we are going to need a new app. Hover over the new app to create an app. Now there are multiple ways to get started with Jodoo. I can start from scratch or start with a template. If you want to start from scratch, click the new app. Now it's asking me to name my app, so I'm going to call this Human Resource Management, and I'm going to select a group for this app, change the color, and customize the icon. And we can go ahead and get started with creating forms and dashboards for each project or process in this app. If you want to start with a template instead, let's visit the Template Center and find the template with keyword searching. Have a preview of the forms and dashboards. If it suits your demands, install the app along with the sample data or install the app only. Once installed, the app will be on your homepage under Others. With Jodoo, you can collect information from anyone with a form that plugs into your management app. Jodoo offers two types of forms, regular forms and workflow forms. They can both serve as your data collection and recording tools, yet the latter also allows for smooth approval workflows. In this video, we will learn the steps to create, customize, and share a form that you can use to collect information. So here is our first question, how to create forms in Jodoo. Forms are made of fields, acting like individual building blocks. On the left panel, you will find a list of all the different types of fields supported by Jodoo. Adding a field is as simple as a click, or you can drag and drop fields onto the canvas in the middle to make your form. Select a field to edit the field properties on the right panel. You can also switch over the option to edit the form properties. The field and form properties decide how individual fields or the entire form looks and behaves. In our example, we will create a form to register employee information in our Human Resource Management app. So we can first capture and list the details that might matter for your work. Then we can go to the Jodoo workspace, open the Human Resource Management app, and hover over the plus button to create a form. Now that you've created your form, you can start to customize how it looks and behaves on the form design page. Name the form Employee Registration. Drag and drop to add the fields for the needed information as we listed, and give them the names. After naming the fields, you can make your form concise and easy to navigate by customizing how fields appear with custom field properties. For example, customize the description, bold it, change the color or size. You can even add a hyperlink or insert an image. You can also set up the hint text or the default value as you like. Click to determine which fields are visible in your form. Set important fields as required, or drag and drop to change the field order. Save the settings. Now, in a matter of minutes, you've got a custom form that's completely fit to your needs. Once you've built your form, it is time to share it. Click Edit to return to the design mode and switch to the Publish instead. For internal users, in To Members, search and add a member or department to the suitable permission group. Let's take an example with Lucy. Here, I logged in as Lucy. By default, my homepage is blank. And let's go back to set up the permissions. Now, let's search for Lucy and add the permission for add and manage her data. Let's go back and refresh the page. I will be able to find the Human Resource Management app, along with the employee registration form. I can add a record, submit, and manage my own records. For external users, you can enable the public into all, copy and share it with anyone. When someone opens this link, he or she will be able to submit a record without logging in. And this record will automatically show up as a new record on the Manage Data page, but the created user will be blank. You can take action on the new submissions as they appear alongside your existing works. In Jodoo, workflow forms can be transferred from subordinates to superiors for approval, which efficiently engages the relevant departments or stakeholders for work. Efficient workflows are crucial but difficult to orchestrate. In this video, we will go through the steps to design, create, customize, and enable your workflow so you can make it more efficient. So our first question will be how to create the workflows in Jodoo. In our example, we will create a workflow to review leave requests in our Human Resource Management app. We can start by defining the goal of this workflow and identifying the recurring steps you take to achieve your goal. Let's capture and list the details that matter for each step first. The Human Resource Manager may say, we want to have a workflow that starts when an employee submits a leave request, which brings the request detail for the manager to review, and automatically notifies the employee of the results when the request is approved or rejected. The recurring steps in this workflow to get to your objective should be to submit a leave request and review the request. Now we are ready to create a workflow form in the Human Resource Management app. If it is for a regular form, then we are all set. But this is a workflow form, so we still have a second question. How to enable the workflows in Jodoo? We need to set node permissions to limit the visible and editable fields for each step, and then set the node and form permissions to engage the relevant members of this workflow. Now, let's go back to the workflow page. On the workflow page, go to Node Properties and allow members to view and edit the request details when submitting a request. Allow the Human Resource Manager to view the request details and edit the review comments. As we discussed, let's set the Human Resource Manager as approver. and keep the employee who submits the request notified of the result. Enable the workflow. And switch to Publish page. Share the workflow with the employee. Let's switch to Lucy's account. Go to Human Resource Management app and submit a leave request. As I have set myself as the approver, when Lucy submits a request, I will be able to review it, and Lucy will be copied with the result. If you are trying to pull or analyze records from different places in our app, that means Jodoo dashboards are the right solution. Jodoo dashboards are mainly composed of charts that live on top of your Jodoo information and update when your Jodoo information updates. So this can be much clearer as we create the first chart for the dashboard. In this video, we will create a dashboard of recruitment reports for our Human Resource Management app. Well, actually, this time we will only finish a small part of this dashboard, an indicator chart for the average days to hire. So our first question will be how to create a dashboard in Jodoo. So here, let's go to the Jodoo workspace again, enter the Human Resource Management app, and create a dashboard. And here is what we get, a blank canvas. We can name it as Recruitment Report. That's our dashboard, but without charts, the dashboard are just skeletons. So here comes our second question, how to create a chart in Jodoo. Here we can find all the different charts that let us track all the various information for our workflow in one place, and components to help beautify the dashboard and add external information to our analysis. And at last, we have tools that serve as a search engine to locate the target information. As we planned, we want to have an indicator chart for the average days to hire. So we just want a big number that tells us the average days we spend on hiring a person. The indicator is a chart that lets you display a piece of information and analysis of a particular view. So that sounds just like what we need. As it is a type of statistics chart, let's go ahead and choose a statistics chart. As I mentioned, these dashboards live on the Jodoo information, so we will select the Hire Report form, as that is the form where my information lives. Let's name the chart Average Days to Hire, and we will select the indicator as planned. Now it is time to set up the dimensions, measures, and filters. We will set them up with what we have, which are the fields listed on the left. So dimension feels like an x-axis, which stands for the perspective of data analysis. And measure is just like the y-axis. It is the result of dimension analysis. So the hint for the indicator says that we might only need one measure for this, so we will just drag and drop the days to hire field to the measure. As you can see, it will automatically add them up, but what we need is an average number, so let's hover over the field, click to expand the options, go to aggregation, and change it to average. And here it is, a big number for the average days to hire. To make it more eye-catching, we can customize the chart styles, like pick up a background color, title color, and layout style. Then here it is, our indicator for average days to hire. Let's click Save, and now it's added to my dashboard. Let's see what happens when I update the information in my form. Just add another record for our hire report, and then go back to refresh our page. And now, as you can see, our summary is updated. So anytime your information updates, your dashboard will update to reflect what's changed in your form.